Update. I, 23 male, found out through a friend that my girlfriend, 21 female of 3 years, and her current best or childhood friend, 21 male, dated for 4 years in high school. I'm ready to end things, but am I overreacting? Original post. I met Nicole 3 years ago, around my second year of college. I'm from out of state. I received a full scholarship to the university that we're currently at, so I didn't have any friends at the time. She was nice and took interest in me pretty quickly, and we started dating. She's told me from the beginning that she had been best friends with this guy Adam since they were little, and they were very close, and their families were close, which I was fine with at the time. I'm not really a jealous person, and I'm pretty laid back. Adam seemed like a nice guy, and I thought, who am I to really tell her who she can and can't be friends with? Anyways, they have been close even through the relationship. They go on trips together with their families, they study together, have a few classes together, dinner, lunch, etc. And they have even stayed the night at each other's apartments. It was weird at first, but I trusted her as well as him, and honestly, she always told me ahead of time, so I felt like it was fine, not ideal. It never really affected our relationship. We spent time together, had a great connection, and all that good stuff. Nicole and Adam left on Sunday. They finished finals early or something like that, to head down to their family's beach house like 4 hours away from campus. They did invite me, but I have some finals left. And then I have summer courses starting nearly immediately after my finals, so I declined so that I could prep for my final 2 courses before I graduate. I met up in the library with one of her friends in my web design class to put some finishing touches on our final project. We got on the topic of relationships, and she was telling me about how when she started dating her current boyfriend, she made him cut all contact with his ex-girlfriend, even though she wanted to remain close with him. She asked me why I didn't do the same, and I was confused. I didn't understand what she meant. And then she explained and showed me proof that Nicole and Adam dated throughout high school. They also went to prom together. I was pretty lost as to what to do or how to feel. I found out yesterday, and all I could think was that Adam could potentially be screwing my girlfriend at this very moment. I trusted her. But I mean, I've never seen exes hang out and be as buddy-buddy as them without hooking up before. As dense as it sounds, I almost can't wrap my head around their level of closeness and not doing it. I talked to my older sister, and she told me I had to calm down, and that maybe there was a reason for why they never said anything. She said if I trusted Nicole before knowing, she didn't see why I would suddenly accuse her otherwise, even if her best friend is her ex. But I feel like that logic is so flawed, because my entire foundation of trust for this relationship stemmed from the fact that Adam was her childhood best friend, not her ex. Honestly, if she would have told me before we started dating, I think I probably would have walked away from the relationship. She's a great and nice girl, but getting with someone who is still so heavily involved with her ex is a roller coaster I don't think I would ever willingly sign up for. Am I thinking about this the wrong way? Is it crazy that I'm already considering ending the relationship over this, whether she cheated or not? I haven't brought it up to her yet. I want to talk in person rather than on the phone. I'm going to hide the fact that I know until she comes back to campus on Friday to spend my birthday weekend with me. But I don't see any logical explanation that will keep me committed. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I am still friends with a few people I have dated in the past, and my boyfriend doesn't mind. The difference is that he was aware of the full situation from the beginning. Also, I don't go on family vacations with them without my boyfriend. WTF? If I were you, I would not be okay with this situation at all. I'm just curious. Are you friends with people you've dated or best friends with them? Like, how often do you see them or hang out with them? I don't want to put blame on myself, but I have truthfully declined a few vacations with her willingly. I've always been focused on school and graduating with good grades in my allocated time. My parents don't have the money to pay for my schooling, so they push me to take full advantage of my scholarship. They're just normal friends that I see a couple of times a month, almost always in groups. I can't imagine why I would want to be best friends with an ex. After all, if you get along so well and enjoy each other's company so much, why not just be a couple? I don't think the fact that you declined the invitation for the vacation makes it okay that she decided to bring Adam instead. Can't she just hang out with her family without a male companion? You take a significant other on family vacations so they can get to know your family, since they may one day be part of the family. So what is Adam doing there? Nah, get it out there. You'll have plenty of time to talk it over. Well, you're in the middle of it all now. Sorry, OP. No do-overs. So, if they are not cheating and think of each other as friends, are you good? I'm opting to tell her in person Friday, also because I have 2 fairly important finals on Thursday and a coding project due Friday morning. I'd rather not have to deal with the drama until those are finished and out of the way. I'm literally 2 classes out of graduating, relationship or not. I'm not about to mess it up. Honestly, I don't think they're cheating physically, but I'm sure they exchange their fair share of words with one another, especially since Nicole broke up with him and not the other way around. Whether they are cheating or friends, as of this point I'm 90% done. Barring one hell of a good reason for keeping it from me, I'm gone. Knowing my girlfriend, she'll say she was afraid if she told me the truth, that I wouldn't have started a relationship with her in the first place, which, while understandable and true, doesn't make it right. Now for the update. Nicole showed up Thursday night after my exams to early surprise me for my birthday weekend. We kind of hung out and talked, and I tried my best just to be normal with her. When I asked her about Adam, she was extremely reluctant and borderline defensive to even talk about it. You never brought it up before. Why do you want to know about it now? When she realized I wasn't dropping it, she pretty much broke down and told me everything. Adam was the one who convinced her not to tell me about their past relationship. The last few guys she tried to talk to were scared off by her being best friends with her ex, and he didn't want me to leave in the same way. It was only supposed to be for a little while. She didn't plan on staying that close to Adam while being in a relationship. Adam's dad was in the process of getting a promotion when Nicole and I started dating, which would move him and his family to the Midwest, but the promotion fell through. She said Adam became more direct once he found out he wasn't leaving, constantly insisting that she hang out with him without me, even to the point where she would be canceling plans with me. For most people, I'm sure that would have been a red flag when your girlfriend canceled on you periodically, but I've been taking 6 to 7 course semesters for the past 2 years in attempts to graduate early and get the most out of my scholarship. If I wasn't studying or with Nicole, I always had a million other things I could be catching up on or doing. She blamed me for not setting boundaries or being more strict with her, and eventually, she became comfortable with her freedom with him. Adam still has really strong feelings for her, though she said she didn't feel the same way about him. She admitted that Adam over time grew to resent me and became very jealous of our relationship and how effortlessly happy I made her feel. She told me she never cheated on me despite Adam's advances and flirtation. At this point, she was crying and emotional and extremely desperate. She begged for forgiveness and said that she'd cut all ties with Adam, that she wouldn't ever talk to him again or hang out with him anymore, that I was the only person she wanted to spend her life with, and a bunch of other ridiculousness I could hardly even listen to. I was angry and probably didn't say it the way I should have, but I told her it was the perpetual lying and deceitfulness that had me so angry, and that was the reason I was breaking up with her. That's pretty much how it ended, with me telling her she could leave. Adam sent some hateful texts to me, which I ignored. Last night I was pretty much an emotional wreck. I felt ashamed and angry at myself for even crying over something so stupid. But I woke up this morning, and I didn't feel nearly as bad as I thought. I spoke to my best friend about it, and he really helped me put it into perspective. I'm going home tonight for my birthday weekend, and then I'll just focus on finishing school and finding a job. I'm glad it's over and even more glad I don't live in this state. Thanks for the advice. She blamed you for not setting boundaries for her behavior with him when she was the only one to know of his one-sided feelings, jealousy, and resentment? Wow. Best of luck with graduation and happy birthday. Thanks. I think the one moment looking back on this that got me the most riled up was last year I went back home for winter break and went out to the movies with my best friend, his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's best friend who was my ex from high school. I told her about it ahead of time, told her exactly what we'd be doing, that the 4 of us were going to see a movie and get some dinner. And she completely blew it out of proportion and made me feel so guilty about going to see a movie with some friends. I don't think I've ever shown that kind of anger in my life. So this guy was making sexually inappropriate advances towards her, and her reaction wasn't to defend you and get pissed at him for disrespecting your relationship? Or even just bring it to your attention, so you guys could decide together how to handle it? She knew very well what she was doing, putting the emotions of someone with no respect for you above your own. Her loyalty was never to you. I'm sorry. Some would disagree. But as someone who has cut off a lifelong friend for refusing to act appropriately and respect my boyfriend's place in my life, I consider that emotional cheating. You deserve someone who will defend you in your absence without a second thought. If they can't do that, then you aren't being cherished the way you should be. Yeah, I realized pretty quickly that she isn't as innocent as she makes herself out to seem. It's definitely a two-way street, and she should have distanced herself from the guy. While I do blame myself for not investigating or putting my foot down, I've always felt like either you trust your significant other 100% or you don't trust them at all. Getting into this relationship with her knowing her best friend was a guy, and how they acted with one another was enough to make me realize either I'm going to trust this girl 100% or I'm going to drive myself crazy with jealousy and torture. Maybe I was being too naive, but it's how I do things. Trust to me is everything, and this is the first time in a relationship I've ever had it taken advantage of. Last story. My cousin has convinced herself that my husband is in love with her. How do we deal with this? My husband, James, 33 male, and I, 29 female, got married a little over 2 months ago, and this has been going on since then. We had a pretty small wedding. I have a huge family, but invited less than half of them for personal reasons. One cousin, Mira, 29 female, I was unsure about inviting, but she was going through a hard time, and I thought inviting her would help her get out of her depressive funk. She is recently divorced after her husband of 2 years cheated on her and kicked her out of his home. At the wedding, everything was pretty normal and nothing crazy happened. A relevant detail here is that during the wedding reception, my husband and I did a little segment where we dedicated songs to each other, and they were played with an announcement stating that I dedicated one to him, then he dedicated one to me. The song he dedicated to me was Adore You by Harry Styles. We are both Harry Styles fans, and that is my husband's favorite song. Because of the lyric that says brown skin and lemon over ice, Mira thinks he was secretly dedicating it to her and not me. Her reasoning being that she has darker skin than I do, which is true, but it was not meant for her. And also, insane thought process. Ever since then, she has been telling people that she and my husband are seeing each other behind my back and bragging about dating him, which she is not doing. My husband had only met Mira once before the wedding, at Thanksgiving 4 years ago, and they didn't even speak to each other apart from saying hi. Mira has been posting poorly photoshopped pictures of herself and my husband and took photos from the wedding, cropped me out of them, and plastered them on social media bragging about being with my husband. We have both asked her to stop, and she blocked me and ignored him. My family members are split. The ones who weren't invited are saying, I deserve this, and this is my karma for not inviting them to my wedding. My cousins all think Mira is crazy, and my aunts and uncles who were invited say that I should just ignore her since I know she's lying. This is driving me and my husband insane, and yesterday, Friday, she showed up at my husband's job to bring him lunch and told everyone she was his girlfriend, which led to confusion since most of his co-workers know me, and 3 of them were at the wedding. I literally don't even know what to do at this point, because this is so stupid and insane that I'm dumbfounded. I would appreciate some advice. How the hell do I handle this? Your cousin doesn't sound mentally well, and you should probably look at getting a restraining order. I truly don't think she is. I knew she was depressed after her separation, but I hadn't spoken to her in a while, and didn't think she would do this. How do you not think she is unstable if she is creating a delusion, an untrue reality, and telling others about it? You call it a lie, but does she know it's a lie? Of course she should know, but does she actually see it as a lie? Depression doesn't equate to delusion or lying. If she is creating a false reality and belief despite clear evidence to the contrary, that is the definition of delusion, and that is often associated with a severe mental illness. If you truly think she is lying and aware of reality, then this is closer to sociopathic or antisocial behavior, which could be equally dangerous. Restraining order either way. Would they grant us one if she hasn't threatened us or anything? Get an injunction against harassment. It's the type of restraining order that applies here. Google IAH, insert state name, and you'll find the online form, called a petition, on your states.gov website to fill out and bring to your local city court to get it granted. You and your husband both need to be listed as protected parties on the petition. This is all free, you don't need a lawyer, and it can be done the same day, Monday to Friday. You can and should also sue her for libel. All those screenshots you have and anything in writing she has shared about it is evidence. Document everything, just in case she goes totally batshit crazy on you. We have been. Since she did not block my husband or my other cousins, they've all been screenshotting all her posts. They also told security at my husband's job not to let her in anymore. Talk to an attorney about a possible cease and desist. If her behavior continues, especially showing up at his job, it could cross into harassment pretty quickly and would give him an actual legal leg to stand on. Lawyers and law enforcement involvement will also give him some cover with his job if she keeps this kind of behavior up. Depending on where you live and what the company is, a stalker causing problems at someone's workplace could be grounds for firing. Make sure your house has cameras and get him a pen cam or something similar in case she tries to engage with him when he is alone. Don't let those situations become he said, she said. Also, the ones who weren't invited are saying, I deserve this, and this is my karma for not inviting them to my wedding. What? I'll look for an attorney and mention this to my husband. We do have cameras in our house, and she hasn't tried to show up there or directly communicate with us, only when she recently showed up at my husband's job. Edit. Thank you all. I got a lot of advice very quickly, so I'm going to speak to my husband about all of your ideas. Thanks again.